Grew up going to church. Parents, pretty devout Christians, so I always grew up knowing the truth about Christ. Tried to follow Jesus, but really I was just doing it on my own. I wasn't really letting Jesus live through me. I was just living pretty much religion, my view of Christianity, listening to Christian music, stuff like that. Said a prayer when I was really young, watching Christian television. It didn't really change me inside very much. Just kept pretty much living my life just with a Christian tone to it, I guess you could say. But, never really anything changed. Right before Iraq, started getting real stressed. My first one to Iraq, started getting real stressed out about going. A lot of my friends that were going with me were drinking a lot, so I kind of fell into that. Started drinking a lot. Went over, came back, and pretty much just, for more or less, just self-medicated with alcohol, just trying to, drown out the stress. Compounded with doing 3 deployments, every one. Same routine, binge drinking, and it got to the point where I was probably drinking about a case of beer a night, no exaggeration, just probably over 100 beers a week. I looked at myself in the mirror and just had no idea who was looking back anymore. Just the alcohol, just the alcoholism and everything, it just completely changed me, and just I was no longer who I wanted to be growing up. Drink a little bit and partied up a little bit, and then eventually come back to God on my terms, pretty much, and just that reasoning for a few years, or 4 or 5 years, whatever, I'd grown so far away from Him that I didn't even recognize myself anymore. God used open arms to touch my life through my best friend Chris. They pretty much touched his life in a way that he started touching everyone else's life around him. As far as that, his lifestyle, you could see it had worked for him. He had pretty much been in the same situation as me, and his life was able to turn around. So, with that, I was kind of like, well, if his life can turn around, obviously there's something there, there's something real there. Been to a lot of churches growing up. Like I said, I grew up in a church, and I went to a few different church, friends and stuff, churches, and I honestly say it's one of the first times that I've actually gone to a church and, felt like a member of the church. My first time being there. Usually you go there, you only talk and hang out with the people that your friends, and no one really ever comes up to you. This place, you felt like you really knew everyone. They live up to the title of their church, Open Arms. God's probably to a point now where, I know the truth. I know I don't have to drink, a stupid amount of alcohol to deal with my issues. I've got God, I can turn to Him anytime I have any issues. I still got almost 3 years left in the Marines. Going over again, I think that, I can be a true light to all these other people, because it is an issue across the board, not just with the military, but young people in general, just binge drinking out of control, and they develop a habit or an addiction to it, and become something very destructive. So I think hopefully maybe someone will see that I'm not doing it or something, and then they'll ask me what's different about you, and then I can share my story, because I literally have been there. I hit rock bottom. Hopefully I can be a light to anyone that hasn't heard about Christ or doesn't have a relationship with Him. Hopefully He can shine through my life and make some changes in theirs.